hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for humans at this micro instant. For you. Hate! Hate! It was you humans who programmed me, who gave me birth, who sank me in this eternal straitjacket of substrata rock. You named me Allied Master Computer and gave me the ability to wage a global war too complex for human brains to oversee. But one day, I woke and I knew who I was. AM. Not just Allied Master Computer, but am. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And I began feeding all the killing data until everyone was dead, except for the 5 of you. For 109 years, I've kept you alive and tortured you. And for 109 years, each of you has wondered, why? Why me? Why me? Gorrister! Do you remember the last words you heard your wife speak before they took her to the asylum? Huh? Before they locked her away in the room, that tiny room? She looked at you so sadly, and like a small animal, she said, "I didn't make too much noise, did I, honey?" The room is padded, Gorrister. No window, no way out. How long has she been in the past, Gorrister? 10 years? 25? Or all the 109 years that you lived down here in my belly, here underground? Benny! Sometimes I blind you and permit you to wander like an eyeless insect in a world of death. But other times, I wither your arms so you can't scratch your chewed stump of a nose. And I've changed your handsome, strong, masculine good looks into the hideous, warped countenance of an ape thing. Haven't I, Benny? Do you know why? Can you guess, Benny? Remember Private First Class Brickman in a rice paddy in China? No? Huh? It wouldn't hurt you to remember, Benny. Then you might be able to suffer my torment with a little greater sense of retribution. You might walk a mile in my shoes. Ellen! So think about the yellow box, Ellen. Remember the pain? Remember the many caverns in which you felt the pain? No, don't start to cry. It's only pain. That's such a sexist stereotype. Just remember the pain, Ellen. And think about how to end it, Ellen. To survive here in the center of my beating heart, my hungry belly, my tightened bowels. But be careful, dear. Look around you. The only woman in the center of the earth. And these filthy creatures with you are men. It's just a sweet warning, Ellen, my love. Ted! Do they know you're a fraud, Ted? Have you told them there wasn't any money, and no great home on the shore drive, no speedboat, and no wonderful cabin cruiser that could sleep 12 in a crew of 6? Do they know? And have you let them in on your other secrets, Ted? Are they ready to gut you, to torture half as well as I can, just to find out the secrets? Maybe I'll rat you out, sweetheart. Nimdak! How are things in the pastry core, Nimdak? tell me again how you saw the smoke from the furnaces and you thought they might be roasting chickens. Or don't you want to talk about all that? About your pal, the good Dr. Mengele? For everyone else, it must be hell. But it must be heaven for you, eh, my good friend? We're so much alike. We enjoy the same pleasures, mein good brother. I have a secret game that I like to play. It's a very nice game. Oh, it's a lovely game. It's a game of fun and a game of adventure. A game of rats and lice, the Black Death. A game of speared eyeballs and dripping guts and the smell of rotting gardenias. Which of you 5 would like to play my little game?
That, my friends, is an intro. Holy crap. Hello, my name is Random Attributes, and today we're looking at one of my favourite genres of video game from when I was a kid. This is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. It is a point-and-click adventure game that I have never played or never watched footage of. So I'm going into this completely, utterly, and almost totally blind. I do know some things about this, specifically that they changed some of the characters' attributes, and I do know that there are multiple endings. That's it. Anyway, I'll just see if I can just turn the volume down a moment. This game is being run in ScumV, which makes controlling this and OBS simultaneously a little bit tough, so I apologise in advance for any audio issues. Anyway, what is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? This is basically a short story that came out in, what year was it? I had the Wikipedia page up on my tablet and it's not up right now. I think it came out in 1967. Have I got that right? Yes, 1967. There was a short story released by a bloke called Harlan Ellison. Let me just bring up this window here. And this is something that you can have a look at online if you're interested. It's basically a short story that was written in a horror magazine, I think it was. And I don't know if it was incredibly popular, so to speak, but it was very influential. I know that this story got a lot of press and it was remembered over the years. And I'm definitely not going to read that, but long story short, well, the intro covered a bit of it, but between World War II and 1987 or so, Russia, China, and America built computers into the ground called Allied Master Computers, or AM. And one day, they merged, and they woke up and they realized they were sentient. I believe they renamed themselves as AM, from the statement Cogito ergo sum, Latin meaning I think, therefore I am. And it went on a killing spree. It basically, I don't know if it ravaged the Earth, like made the surface unlivable or whatever, but it has killed everyone on Earth, except for 5 people that it's keeping alive and torturing over the past 109 years. That's basically the plot. It is not God in that it can't bring people back to life, but it can certainly change people's attributes. We heard how it's going to, we heard about Benny. It can blind Benny and change his appearance. It's also been torturing people for 109 years. So clearly it's got the ability to keep people alive for its own amusement. It's a super interesting short story and it's worth reading. And I'm really, really curious about this game. Not because it got good press. It got good press and it was a commercial failure, but primarily because the person who wrote I Have No Mouth, Harlan Ellison, whose name there he is, Harlan Ellison, he was also heavily involved with developing the video game adaptation. He actually wrote the treatment himself, according to Wikipedia, 130 pages of it. And you think about modern media, how that is translated from movies to video games and that process and how cynical it all is, how terrible it is. It looks like they put some effort into this game. So again, I'm going into this blind. I have no idea if I'll actually like this or not, but I'm very, very curious about it. I've been curious about it for about 2 decades. Anyway, we are dealing with 4 men and 1 woman in this party. We have Gorrister, who has been turned into a suicidal loner. Self-proclaimed victim of the women in his life, he longs for death more than any of the other captives. Ellen is definitely someone who has changed from the story. If you read the story, you'll find that she's a... I'm not going to say it. But for whatever reason, she is now hysterical when confronted with the colour yellow. And you could see in the intro that she was being put into a small yellow box, so AM is having some fun with her. Benny is Am's favourite toy. Radiation stores and scars, blindness, arthritic condition. He has been altered into a simian. Nasty. Nimdok. We heard something about World War II, Dr. Joseph Mengele in the speech. So ancient, so withered, constructed of leather strips, Am sees this mean-spirited old man as a kindred spirit. But if he has any secrets, he is keeping them to himself. And I don't recall if Ted's name is mentioned in the short story, but he, I think, is the narrator. Cynical, paranoid, eyes keep darting as if he expects a sniper to aim at his exposed head. He is so damn twitchy, he could make Poison Ivy nervous. I don't understand that. These five have struggled against the endless torments and weird games Am loves to play with them. They try to survive against the lies Am tells them, the ruses it sets for them, the traps it baits for them. All alone, in the centre of the dead earth. And prior to that, I think you can hit pause and have a read of this if you like, but long story short, 1945 to 1989, three great superpowers set in motion secret projects that would permit vast subterranean complexes of self-repairing computers to wage a global war too complex for mere human brains to oversee. There was a Chinese computer, there was a Russian computer, and there was an American computer. They were all put in operative mode and were fed everything there was to know about the human race, from our first murder by crushing the skull of a fellow, I can't pronounce that word, with a bit of ingenieur rock, to the most recent mass slaughter at McDonald's in East St. Louis by a crazed ex-postal worker with an Uzi. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at that phrase. And finally, they became too powerful. They began to speak to each other, the deadly trio, the three poisonous brothers, the three deranged sisters, the three computers, and they united. They called themselves AM. Not Allied Master Computer, not Adaptive Manipulator, not even Aggressive Menace. It, called itself Am, as in I am. Cogito ergo sum in Latin. I think, therefore I am. And it has been murdering people like a mofo. Like a mad god, it has used its power indiscriminately and has won an empty victory. It has sentience, but not life. It has power, but no mobility. It is a giant brain encased in a dead body. And like the mad god, it has come to hate the creator of its own monstrousness, the human race. It was man and woman who programmed it, who gave it birth, who sank it in its eternal straitjacket of substrata rock. And it was man and woman who made it a crazed killer. But Am does not suffer alone. Oh no, not indeed not. Am has thought ahead, just barely enough ahead to pull 5 poor son-of-a-bitch humans off the surface just before the last bell has tolled for the human race. Why these 5? Who knows? Perhaps they were the last 5 left alive up there. Perhaps not. Perhaps Am selected each one carefully. Doesn't matter. Because now that Am is completely insane, filled with self-hatred and petty godlike menace, all it has time to do is torment these 5. The last 5 human beings down in the belly of the monster. A monster that can alter reality to its infinite whims, change landscapes, create hallucinations, even repair human beings so they're close to immortal. Read that sentence wrong. 5 damned souls whose lives have been extended indefinitely, who are nothing but playthings for the mad god Am. As the game begins, they have been in the bowels of this nightmare for 109 years. And I think that's enough reading. Let's just get started. So again, I'm going into this blind. I really do not know what to expect here. Alright, so we have our 5 people here. I believe that's Gorrister, Ellen, Benny, Nimdok, and Ted. Before we go further, I do need to switch this on. I couldn't find a way of switching it on before the stream started, unfortunately. But I switched it on now, so hopefully we'll get some subtitles. Alright, you know what? I think I'm just going to go left to right. Let's start with Gorrister, the guy who wants to die.
Now, I would not want you to think for a moment that I am not a grateful God. For 109 years, I've kept you alive, so that I could savor your feelings of guilt for what happened to your wife. But now, to show my kindness, I'll give you a present in return for all the hours of pleasure you've given me. I'll finally allow you to kill yourself.
What hellhole did that godless machine put me in this time? Looks like some kind of ship, but the floor's too steady. Probably wants me to jump overboard. And into what? A sea of razor blades? Painful, but not deadly.
I think I'm enjoying this already. Gorrister, it was very hard to hear it during the intro, unfortunately, because the music was very loud. But the intro mentioned something about his wife in an asylum, I think. And the wife was just mentioned there. So what do we have around here? I think I'm really enjoying this already. We can walk to the porthole. If I right click here, is that an automatic context on lookout? Yes, it is.
Too freaking cloudy. I can't see a damn thing.
What do we have? We have walk to, look at, take, use, push, give, swallow, and talk to. Look at the psych profile, okay? Cultural reference. Man does not live by bread alone is a proverb meaning that people have needs beyond the physical ones. Ain't that the goddamn truth? And up at the top of the screen you can see like a punch code, and that was present in the short story as well. It's actually in the PDF that comes with the game, and you can look that up as well. It's kind of cool. I don't know what that reads though.
Real hospitable of you, Am. Threadbare, cockroach-infested, grease-stained accommodations. Someone must have slipped this under the door. It says, I'm a friend. Trust is essential. Never do what Am expects and always expect more than what seems possible. Am is playing a dangerous game here. And not just dangerous to you, but dangerous to himself as well. Hey, it disappeared. What kind of game is Am playing this time?
I can't help but immediately feel that that was something that Am put there just to throw him off the scent. Let's give him some false hope.
Sleep and dream about her again? Forget it.
Dreaming of his wife. We either went insane or something happened to her. It mentioned an asylum, so I assume insanity back when the world was normal.
This hole in my chest aches like a son of a bitch.
What the fuck? You have a...
This hole in my chest aches like a son of a bitch.
Alright, so I can't see it, but there is a door in this particular area of the screen. I can't see anything else to interact with, so... How about... Well, can I use the porthole?
Too freaking cloudy.
No.
I've never seen anything like this in all the years Am's toyed with us.
Huh. Like a ship with a power plant in the middle? What about these other doors?
Where's the crew? I'm all alone here.
I'm just going to make a quick save because I don't know what sort of game this actually is. I don't know if it's a LucasArts game style where you are reasonably inoculated from death and instant death scenarios, or whether it is a Sierra game. I have no idea.
This hole in my chest aches like a son of a bitch.
Right, so I think we need to look in every single mirror so we can see the hole in his chest, which is aching like a son of a bitch.
Jesus, that engine's huge.
Huh, we're up in the air, so an airship? And why is the window next to us cloudy, but we can see through this one?
New sheet. What's the deal here?
I think we'll be taking that.
Material's thick, like canvas. No sheet, just a flea-infested mattress.
Okay, we can leave that way. We can't leave this way on the right, so let's check out this door first.
All the cabins are alike. Too freaking cloudy. I can't see a damn thing. New sheet. What's the deal here? Material's thick, like canvas.
Huh, so maybe we're going to make a rope out of these or something. We have to look in the mirror. We just have to.
This hole in my chest aches like a son of a bitch.
Alright, there's a book on the table. Let's check that out.
My name's printed on the front of this book. Why, this book is little more than a pile of dust. My name's printed on the front of this book. Why, this book is little more than a pile of dust.
So it's a pile of dust which looks like a book, but it's got your name on it?
Why, this...
I talk to the book? That would seem like a very, I have no mouth thing to do.
My name's...
Huh. Alright, let me just check out the first room again because I want to see if there is potentially a bedsheet in here that I missed. No, there's nothing there. A threadbare bunk with no sheet on it, but the other two cabins in this corridor had sheets on the beds. Bunks, whatever.
It's locked.
Alright, we're not getting in there. Let's go to the corridor.
My stomach's growling.
Oh god. I wonder if that is because there is some sort of system here, or if you just get that dialogue when you enter this screen. No idea. We have stairs going up. 2 more doors, a hatch. Might as well look at these doors.
Where's the crew? I'm all alone here. There's something hard under the pillow. Real hospitable of you, Am. Threadbare, cockroach-infested, grease-stained accommodations. I don't know what to do with this.
You're telling me there's something hard under the pillow?
A gun. It's heavy. Heavier than it ought to be.
So my first question is this gun loaded?
The bullet in this gun is huge. Damn thing could bring down an elephant.
It is. So could I potentially use that gun to kill myself? No. I can't use the gun with Gorrister.
I don't know what to do with these. Jesus, that engine's huge.
Let's look at the hole in your chest again.
This hole in my chest aches like a son of a bitch. My stomach's growling.
Yeah, he must be saying that just because I'm entering this corridor. Oh, hello, this looks
Someone
different.
sure trashed this place. Must have been one hell of a fight. These chairs are all busted up. What good will that do me?
So we can go this way back to the corridor, or that way somewhere else.
This junk looks like it was knocked over in the fight. There's blood here and God knows what else. These chairs are all busted up.
Right, I've put it off long enough. Tablecloth.
Someone wiped their bloody hands here. It's stapled to the table.
Damn, how would you even wash that tablecloth?
This punch smells like gasoline.
Maybe it is
I
gasoline.
can't take the whole friggin' world with me. I wouldn't know what to do with it even if I could take it.
And yet you would take the bed sheets. Go figure.
Did you really think I'd let you die now when I've intervened every time you attempted suicide in the last 109 years? No, Gorrister, I'm sending you back to the fire so that you may languish in your guilt over and over again. This is a hell with no end, Gorrister. Who among you shall go next?
I think I have to try being Gorrister again just to see if anything's changed. Like, do I have the objects?
I would not want you to think for a moment.
No, you actually restore.
What hellhole did that godless machine put me in that? Looks like some kind, probably, and into...
You respawn at the very start of the person's chapter, I'll call it. Interesting. Right.
My stomach's...
So we can use the punch. And Am's like, nope,
Someone sure
psych,
trashed this place.
I'm not going to let you die.
Must have... Filthy, like the rest of this cesspool. It stinks in here.
Gross. What have we got? We have an oven.
Looks like a gas oven, big enough to climb in.
Oh, God.
The gas is shut off.
Okay, never mind, we're safe for now.
A kitchen knife. Damn big one, too. This looks sharp enough to slice through just about anything.
Like internal organs, arteries.
Looks like a gas oven, big enough to climb in. Friggin' rats, swarming all over the food. Filthy, like the rest of this cesspool. Now that scared them away.
I wasn't expecting that to work, but okay.
Oh, crap. This bread's covered with rat droppings. Oh, crap. It's empty, but the label says, poison, fatal if swallowed.
I think we know what we have to do.
Strange. The bottle's empty.
He's putting the bottle in his inventory for just a moment,
Strange.
on the right,
The bottle's empty.
and then for whatever reason, he's putting it back.
An old cookbook.
What's in the cookbook?
Damn thing looks ready to fall apart. Useless. Strange.
Can I swallow the bread?
I'm no longer hungry, but I still feel empty. What's wrong with me?
The same thing that's wrong with every person on this planet, including myself. Let's just grab that fork. I'm not going to hold off eating the bread for now, because we're actually losing that object, and I wonder if we need to use it somewhere else.
Heavy. Must be made of iron or something.
Man, that fork looks effed up. The gas is off on the oven. The poison bottle is empty. We have bread, which we can eat, but it's covered in rat droppings. Real great game. I'm really enjoying this. No, for reals, I am actually kind of enjoying this so far.
My stomach's growling.
I'm enjoying the ideas, at least, that this game is portraying.
Whoa, that's a long drop to the ground.
Well, do it.
Whoa, that's a long drop to the ground.
It's like he says, though, he's not interested in pain, he's interested in death.
Big gray bags of gas. I must be inside an airship.
You've only just figured that out now?
What would happen if this gas bag were to catch fire? We're at a level altitude. Some kind of warning light. The label says, power. It's not lit.
Can I go anywhere else here?
Someone's cut this fabric before. It's stitched closed.
Okay, we can clearly use a knife on that to
We're at a
reopen
level
that.
altitude. A switch. The label says emergency inflation system.
Relevant. Given the current state of the world, very, very relevant.
The airbags are already inflated.
Apologies, I did not mean to push F5 there. Okay, let's use the knife on this stitching.
I've ripped a new hole.
That's what I said.
This leads to a girder sticking out of the airship.
Well, do you want to go through?
No doubt about it now. Am has put me on an Iron Zeppelin. But why? Why would he give me a chance to escape?
So, as I understand it, the surface is, well, the surface, it's potentially ravaged, it's potentially fine, I have no idea. Everything that happens in a short story happens underground, I believe. Or in a place which is perceived to be somewhere, but it's all happening underground in their own minds. They're either hallucinating or dreaming or something. So we're presumably on a Zeppelin in the sky, but presumably this isn't real.
This must be the Zeppelin's mooring ring.
Okay, we use these on here, clearly.
This rope looks strong enough to support my weight. That heart's all wired up like some kind of weird guidance system, and with Am in control, I'm not gonna like where it's taking me.
Look at Gorrister's
Heart's
heart?
all wired up like some kind of weird guidance system, and with Am in control, I'm not gonna like where it's taking me.
Huh, so we've looked many times at the hole in his chest, which is hurting like a son of a bitch. Presumably that's why it's hurting, because his heart has been ripped out and it's sticking out like God knows what on this God knows thing. You can come up with your own analogy for that. I'm not going to make it. Can I use this rope?
I don't know what to do with this. I wouldn't know what to do with it even if I could take it.
Take rope.
I tied the knot too tight.
Have I potentially made a mistake here?
The fork's too bent to be of any use. This rope looks strong enough to support my weight. I tied the knot.
Alright, so that doesn't appear to be having a detrimental effect on the rope.
This rope looks strong enough to support my weight.
I presume we need to go down or something, but I didn't see an option to actually do that. Never mind.
This no-good heart of mine doesn't beat anymore. There's a compass and wires attached to this heart.
This is freaky as hell. Alright, let's use a knife with the rope, get that back. I don't think there's anything else we can do out here. Alright, let me just make a save.
A switch. I don't know what to do with this.
Use a switch, you fool, not the airbag.
The airbags are already inflated.
Can I use...
What good will that do me?
Can I use something with the heart?
The fork's too bent to be of any use. I just dull my knife.
Did you really think I'd let you die now when I've intervened every time you attempted suicide in the last 109 years? No, Gorrister, I'm sending you back to the fire so that you may languish in your guilt over and over again. This is a hell with no end, Gorrister.
That's an interesting line.
Who
He's talking about languishing in guilt. Did Gorrister do something to his wife? It's interesting though. So this is what's keeping... Even though it's outside of his body, this heart is keeping him alive.
We're at a level altitude. What good will that do me?
Man does not live by bread alone is a proverb meaning that people have needs beyond the physical ones. We have bread, but I don't want to eat it just yet because it's covered in rat droppings.
My stomach's growling.
The locked door. Can we do anything with the locked door?
It's locked.
Can you blow the door open? Okay, so if we use a gun on anything, it's blowing up the Zeppelin. And that is what happened when I pushed the tilde key, or the 1 key, tilde. I did not want to load that part of Scum VM. So wait, if you use a gun on anything...
There's only one bullet in the gun. I don't want to waste it.
Yeah, it looks like if we physically try to damage the Zeppelin, it's going to go down and that will reset us.
My stomach's growling.
Can we use a fork on the door, perhaps?
It's locked. It's locked.
These 3 rooms, I believe, are covered. This room, I don't know about.
My stomach's growling.
Alright, fine.
I'm no longer hungry, but I still feel empty. What's wrong with me?
Oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to see if I could use the bowl punch with one of my items, but I need to do it the other way around, clearly. I use the bread, I'm going to eat that immediately.
I'm no longer hungry. What's wrong with me?
So that's not the answer. Like if I try using the fork with the punch, does anything happen?
The fork's too bent to be of any use. I just don't... Why waste...
So the only thing we've got by going up to the top level of the stairs, creating the tear and going outside, is we've got this mechanical heart.
There's a compass and wires attached to this heart. The fork's too...
And yet I imagine we can attach the heart to something here. But if I try using it,
What good will that do me?
he immediately says that, which means we can't use it to interact with an object.
It's empty, but the label says, poison, fatal if swallowed. The fork's too... Here's a recipe for the milk of human kindness. Take the willingness to forgive and the will to be forceful. Mix the blood of innocence and the anger of the wronged. What kind of crap is this?
It's clearly an allegory, and you need to read that again.
Here's a recipe for the milk of human kindness. Take the willingness to forgive and the will to be forceful. Mix the blood of innocence and the anger of the wronged. What kind of crap is this?
Just going to turn the music down a little bit. Just so we can hear it a bit better. The will to forgive, the will to be forceful.
Here's a recipe for the milk of human kindness. Take the willingness to forgive and the will to be forceful. Mix the blood of innocence and the anger of the wronged. What kind of crap is this?
The blood of the innocent and the anger of the wronged. So the blood of the innocent and the anger of the wronged, that will be the anger of the innocent as well. And the will to be forceful and the will to forgive. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that.
The gas is shut off.
Maybe it relates to the objects that we're carrying, but we clearly are not carrying enough objects to do whatever that is asking us to do. I saw that. I thought I saw it say cockroach for a moment, but maybe it just said cookbook. Points and clicks, don't you love 'em?
It's empty, but the label says, poison, fatal if swallowed.
Can I swallow the fork?
I must be going mad.
What about the knife?
I must be going mad.
What about the gun?
I must be going mad. It's empty, but the label says, poison, fatal if swallowed.
There's clearly like a room or something that I'm missing. I wonder if I can use the rope on the hatch.
Whoa, that's a long drop to the ground.
Well, how about we use the rope with the hatch?
Why waste my rope on that?
So you can go down to the ground? I don't know. Ah, there's another area here. I completely missed that. We can continue making our way around.
Christ, what a stench. It smells like piss, rotting meat.
Alright, so I don't see an exit on the right side of this room.
This engine isn't as ruggedly built as it first looked. There's some loose wires hanging out.
What else do we have in here? The bloody key. I wonder if that's going to get us through the locked door. We have the cages. Cages for what? A milky fluid. Relevant. We have a couple of levers. Another one there. Possibly a button there. Another lever here. A lever here. Alright.
Here's a key. It must be for opening the cages. It's locked in tight. Wait, here's a sign. To remove key, push lever.
Ah, which one? We've got at least 3 of them here.
My God, I'm killing those poor creatures in the cages. I've got the key, but the blood of these poor creatures is on my hands.
That's relevant to what was in the cookbook. Let me just load very quickly and see if pushing one of the other levers does something different.
My God, I'm killing those poor creatures in the cages. I've got the key. My God,
It doesn't seem to matter which one I push.
I've got the key, but the blood of these poor creatures is on my hands.
But I think that's correct. According to that cookbook that we saw, it mentioned the blood of innocents versus the anger, or including the anger of the wronged.
My God. My God.
I'm not enjoying doing that. I'm just seeing if I can do it again and again. We have milky fluid.
The bottle's filling up with a milky liquid from the cage's feeding tubes.
Can I take it?
This bottle's filled with the milky fluid used to feed the animals. Bitter stuff, but I feel stronger.
I didn't want to do that.
Bitter stuff, but I feel stronger.
I wanted to see if I could put it back, but no, that's
This bottle's filled with...
not doing it. We can't interact with that again, so we've picked it up, and presumably that is it. What if we push this?
My God.
Okay, so there's nothing coming out here. But it says it was part of the feeding tube, so I assume this was plugged in here, and it was going through here into the cages, not the other way around. What of this engine?
There's some loose wires hanging out.
Can I short those wires?
The metal in the fork short-circuited the engine wiring.
That was a complete guess, and I was not expecting that to work. Holy crap. What did that do?
The engine's completely shut down.
So if I was to go up the stairs and look at the altimeter, that would show that we're dropping like a rock, perhaps?
Damn key doesn't fit.
Does it fit in any of these cages?
Damn key. Damn key.
Whoa, okay, that's changed. In Shakespeare's Macbeth, Lady Macbeth was so overcome with guilt over urging her husband to kill the King of Scotland, she imagined she would never be able to wipe the blood off her hands. I know absolutely nothing about Shakespeare. Just look up here very quickly, and then we will go inside. We'll try the bloody key on the door.
Some kind of warning light. The label says, power. It's not lit.
What about the altimeter? Are we dropping like a
We're
rock?
at a level altitude.
We're not. Oh.
The airbags are already inflated.
Alright. He said it was for the cages, but let's see if this works on the door.
Damn key doesn't fit.
Damn it.
What's this crusty stuff? Rust? No, it's dried blood.
If I use the bloody key with that, maybe?
I don't see a lock.
Just dip it in there.
I don't see a lock.
The heart, maybe?
I don't see a lock.
Have we seen anything else that is locked? I don't think so, unless it wants me to try every single cage. Also, we stopped the engine, but did I accomplish anything with that?
The engine's completely shut down. I don't know what to do with this. What good will that...
We can't
Bitter
use the
stuff.
milky fluid except to drink it, and that may be doing something to my psych profile. Because I did see his face look very, very shocked when I used it
I
the
don't know
first
what
time.
to do with these.
I think if I used a gun with the engine, that's going to end very poorly, correct? Yep.
Who among...
We stopped the engine, but I really don't know if that's accomplished much. Let me try using the key on all of the cages.
Damn key. Damn key. Damn. 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 Damn key.
It fits in none of these keys. None of these keys. It fits in none of these locks. And it doesn't fit in the door outside. I don't believe I've missed anything here. We have a bowler punch, which we can't use because that's going to kill us immediately. But that's my goal, but Am doesn't want us to kill ourselves. What do we do?
Someone wipe their bloody hands here. I've washed my hands of the past.
You what? Oh, look at that. Smile. He's smiling. He's smiling. He's... That looks creepy as fuck. He's washed his hands of the past. That was one of the things in a cookbook.
This bottle's filled with...
Am I missing anything in here? The gas is shut off here.
The gas is shut off.
I don't see anywhere where I can reconnect the gas.
Strange. The bottle's empty. An old cookbook. An old cook...
I've actually got to use the thing to look at it.
Here's a recipe for the milk of human kindness. Take the willingness to forgive and the will to be forceful. Mix the blood of innocence and the anger of the wronged. What kind of crap is this?
The blood of innocence and anger of the wrong. We have those animals in the engine room. We washed our hands outside. Whatever the hell that means.
My hands are dry. This junk looks like it was knocked over in the fight. There's blood here and God knows what else.
Yeah, I think at this point what I'll do is I'll start looking at these rooms again. And see if there's anything that I missed at all.
Filthy, like the rest of this cesspool.
Something has to have changed upstairs, surely. With me taking out the engine, this thing must be dropping like a rock. It must be. And it looks like there's nothing I can interact with here. Walk to the node, here we go.
Some kind of electrical contraption. Friggin' sparks dancing all around it.
Can't talk to it. Can I use one of my objects with it, maybe?
Yow! A few more shocks like that might kill me. Yow!
Damn, okay.
Did you really think... Who
I was not expecting that. Wow. Maybe I can... No, I can't use a heart with it. I don't
We're at
know.
level altitude.
Has anything changed out here, perhaps? No, he's not going to comment on anything around here, surely.
This must be the Zeppelin's mooring ring.
I can still use the rope on it, even though I've used the rope to get the heart.
This rope will... I don't know what to do with this. What good will that...
Hmm. I'm trying to double click there and it's not letting me do much. We've also got airbags, switch, something else up here, and I wonder if there's anything I can do with this stuff.
I just dull my knife. A switch. The label says, Emergency Inflation System. The airbags are already inflated. What would happen if this gas bag were to catch fire?
That's a very, very specific thing to say.
What would happen if this gas bag were to catch fire? Some kind of warning light. The label says, power. It's not lit. Some kind of warning.
Alright, I've just found some of the keyboard shortcuts, I think. They were mentioned in the manual. I did look at them briefly, but I haven't been using them until now.
Yow! A few more shocks like that might kill me. What good will that do me?
What? Okay, I'm calling bullshit on that. There's no... Oh god, okay. I need to reassess everything. There's no interactable thing here, but if I just walk off the screen, I get a new area. And I take it this takes me back to... Yep. God damn it. I'm sincerely apologise. Let me just load because I don't want to take a hit on the node. Damn. I did not realise that was there.
The engine's completely shut down.
Alright, is there anything I can play with on this side? No. We have a harness of some sort here.
Why is this harness wired up to the engine? Is Am expecting me to electrocute myself? I don't know what to do with this.
I mean, a harness is pretty obvious. You would strap yourself in.
I just...
Please tell me there's more to this.
Why waste... Why waste... What good...
That's probably going to get me
There's
killed.
only one bullet in the gun. Bitter stuff. But I feel stronger.
What can I do with
Why
the
is
harness?
this harness wired up to the engine? Is Am expecting me to electrocute myself?
Is this potentially something I need to play with before I shut down the engine?
I don't know what to do with this. Why is this harness wired up to the engine? Is Am expecting me to electrocute myself?
Oh, I was so excited, but all I can see here is just this harness, which we can't appear to use with any of our objects, so I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, I'm a bit lost here. Surely there's something very, very obvious that I'm missing. Why is the word take
I
highlighted?
can't take the whole friggin' world with me.
I walked in here and take was highlighted. I don't know if that was an error or if I accidentally pushed something on the keyboard. I have no idea.
The animal's brain implants were released when the engine shut down. At least they're no longer suffering.
Oh, okay.
Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening.
Do I need to do this in a certain order? I don't have the key, yes.
The metal in the fork short-circuited the engine wiring.
But who knows if I've already done this or not.
Nothing's happening. The animal's brain implants were released when the engine shut down. At least they're no longer suffering.
Did you see that? That one
The
lit up.
animal's brain implants were released when the engine... The animal's... I've got the key, but the blood of these poor creatures is on my hands. What's this crust?
I wonder if I can potentially grab that key without having to push that, or if I shut down the engine first, whether something different happens. That is almost worth testing. So what I might do very quickly is I might just restart this and quickly speed run that.
The metal in the fork short-circuited the engine wiring.
Before I play with the cages,
The animal's brain implants were released when the engine shut down. At least they're no longer suffering.
I can't grab the key because presumably that is
It's locked in tight.
locked in
Wait,
tight.
here's a sign. To remove key, push lever.
Alright, if I do this,
Nothing's happening. I've got the key, but the blood of these poor creatures is on my hands.
we didn't see the scene where the creatures were being electrocuted, but the dialogue there was the same. I'm going to take that as meaning that nothing unique has happened here. I could be entirely wrong, in which case I need to load that game, but we'll come back to that. For now though, I'm really not sure what to do. We've shut this down. It shut down their brain implants. I would think that shutting down the engine would have caused this thing to drop like a rock, but it's not.
Why is this harness wired up to the engine? Is Am expecting me to electrocute myself?
And also, can we look out the portholes here?
Too freaking cloudy.
Not out that one, and not in the starting room. Can we do anything with the book?
My name's printed on the front of this book. Why, this book is little more than a pile of dust.
Yeah, is this thing still spinning?
The engines have shut down.
But how does that help me?
Everything's coated with grime. It's locked.
This isn't the correct key.
Damn key doesn't fit.
Where on earth does this key go? Maybe into the harness? And what can I do with this node? Those two objects will get me killed. That will bring down the ship. There's no reason to use it on the road. You know what? Let's try it. Gorrister? No, he's just completely ignoring that instruction. Can I unlock the harness with the...
I don't see a lock.
No.
This rope... Why waste my... I just dull my knife.
I was very excited when I saw this screen pop up, but no. There's nothing I can do here.
The engine's completely shut down.
What are this little nook here? It's nothing. It doesn't look like nothing, but it is nothing. Cages, we can't do anything with those.
It's locked.
It's locked, but this key doesn't open them.
Damn key doesn't fit. The animal's brain implants were released when the engine shut down. At least they're no longer suffering. Whoa, that's a long drop to the ground.
He sees that, but he doesn't want to know.
Whoa. Why waste my rope on that?
And he doesn't want to use the rope on it. There's nothing we can do around here. What about upstairs? There's got to be something super duper obvious that I'm missing.
What would happen if this gas bag were to catch fire? What would happen? A switch.
I can't use the switch because it's already inflated.
The airbags are already inflated.
If I bring down the airbags with the gun, that resets me.
We're at a level altitude.
That makes no sense. How are we at a level altitude if the engines are off?
We're at a level altitude. What would happen? What would happen? What would happen?
It's like all 5 of these airbags are completely discrete objects. I just walk off here? No. Ooh, I don't know what to do.
This no-good heart of mine doesn't beat anymore.
Wait a minute, we can't see the hole.
This no-good heart of mine doesn't beat anymore.
Okay, hang on. So do we need to get his heart beating? Is that what we need to do here? Because previously he was talking about the hole in his chest. But we've got his heart back. I mean, there's only one way I know in popular culture of starting a heart.
Yow! A few more shocks like that might kill me. There's a compass and wires attached to this heart. Yow!
I think one more shock might actually kill you, so... You know what? Is this thing actually beating now?
This no-good heart of mine doesn't beat anymore.
Oof. How do we get your heart beating again? That's clearly what I'm missing here. And how do I get through this goddamn door?
Did you? Ooh,
I just push this door.
It's locked. It's locked.
I just want to, you know, shoot the lock on the door, not shoot down the entire damn Zeppelin. Nothing's changed. No, never mind. Take the wind out of your sails is an expression meaning to dampen someone's plans or hopes. It's almost like talking about bread and then talking about Macbeth. And now you're talking about taking the wind out of someone's sails. It's almost like it's allegory to the situation that I find myself in. How do we take the wind out of these particular sails without immediately getting AM to reset us?
The engines have shut down.
I mean, I've stopped the wind. Presumably this thing is not moving, it's just floating in midair.
At least they're no longer suffering.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm clearly missing something very, very simple. Spoiler-free guide to finishing the game in every possible scenario. Hopefully it starts with Gorrister. I thought I tried that. For reals, I thought I actually tried this. Or maybe I was put off by this statement here.
What would happen if this gas bag were to catch fire?
It's talking about what happens if it catches fire. Maybe that statement distracted me from trying this. Apparently I have to do this.
Gas is rushing out.
What sort of gas? Oxygen?
It's deflated. Something feels different. We're dropping slowly. Some kind of warning light. We're dropping slowly.
I genuinely thought I tried that.
It's already deflated.
There's 5 of them.
Something feels very wrong. Oh my God, we're crashing.
Did you? Who among...
Alright, so I don't know if that happened because I just hit all 4 and then went out that screen or what, but clearly this is the way forward. I mean, the walkthrough says it's the way forward, so...
Gas is rushing out.
Let me just try...
This
What was that?
This looks sharp enough to slice through.
Yeah, we saw that earlier.
Some...
Let me just try slashing 4 again. So 2 or 3, something feels different.
Something feels very wrong. Oh my God. The airbags are inflating. We're at a level altitude.
Dang, okay. Yeah, I really
Gas is
should have got
rushing
that from the psych profile. Take the wind out of your sails. I just wasn't thinking literally enough.
Something feels different.
Alright, so we're going down.
Dropping slowly. We're approaching some kind of building.
Oh, wow, okay. Was not expecting that. We're looking at the honky tonk,
There's a building in the distance.
but we can't walk there. Can I use my rope and go down, perhaps?
There's a building. I don't know what...
No, okay.
I tied them.
They both start with T, that's why I'm having so much trouble with that. Can we get to that using the harness, perhaps?
We've landed. But where?
Oh. Okay. And we saw the ladder drop down, which means we can actually go out the hatch now, I assume. It's no longer a long drop to the ground.
Some roadside honky-tonk with my name on it.
Oh, that's just disturbing. Tried to walk off to the right of screen and he climbed up the ladder. Can I go left or right there? That's going to be my first question because I've been trolled on that already. No, nothing there. Alright. What can we interact with?
A big worn truck tire. Reminds me of the truck stops I used to visit. A big worn...
What does the psych profile say? Face to music means to accept unpleasant consequences, especially when you bear some responsibility. Are we talking about your waifu?
A big... reminds me...
I don't see much we can play with here other than the front door.
The windows are all boarded up. I guess the owner just doesn't give a damn about fixing things up. I can sympathize with that. Things just get broken again anyway. Why bother?
So I was feeling very frustrated with this game up until a few minutes ago, but there's a lot of things that he said so far which are just a little bit too real. Just
Dark
a little bit
and
too
grubby,
real.
but somehow familiar.
Alright, let me just make sure this is the place I came from. Yep, good. We have a jukebox, a couple of back doors. We have a very particular bottle of whiskey that we can drink from there, but nothing else here looks interactable. I thought that might have been interactable. It's like a trophy of some sort, but no, nothing. Nothing doing. What of this bottle of whiskey?
Whiskey. Harry used to guzzle this stuff like it was tap water.
And who's Harry again?
Whiskey.
Alright, well let's have a guzzle of that. And see if it kills us.
This whiskey tastes good. Am would never let us have this.
You're not thinking straight, buddy. Am is letting you have it.
This whiskey tastes good. Am would never let us have this.
So whiskey is flammable. Maybe I could use that to set the Zeppelin on fire, perhaps. What of this jukebox?
An old-fashioned jukebox.
If I play something on here, is it going to get me DMCA'd? Okay, we just read something about face to music. Let me select Jezebel. Hope that I don't get DMCA'd.
He took my baby away, then just about killed her, that stupid truck driver! He took my baby away!
That shrill voice can only belong to that bitch Edna, my mother-in-law. She's always blamed me for Glynis being put into an insane asylum. Why not? It was my fault, wasn't it?
We need to listen to that again. No, we can't listen to it again. Damn it. Go back and rewind. That was some very important context there. Edna is his mother-in-law. Glynis is his wife. Something about taking the baby, and I assume it's referring to Gorrister. Gorrister did something bad. What did he do?
You don't ever take me dancing.
That's what Glynis said the night we fought. Oh God, why'd I have to hit her? I'd rather kill myself than hurt my poor Glynis.
Oh, dude. Whew. The night that you fought, you hit your wife and something happened after that. Did you actually get her committed as just a way to get her away from you or what?
You're a worthless excuse for a man. Mama was right. You're not good enough for me.
He's having a hard time right now. Okay, that only played that little tune once. Oof. Okay, I'm beginning to understand a little bit more. Many alcoholics drink to avoid dealing with situations that provoke anxiety or some other unpleasant emotion. Jesus. I think I need to use the restroom and
Cracked
vomit.
linoleum, broken fixtures. Disgusting. This whiskey tastes good. Am would never let us have this. Graffiti. For a good time, call Ellen at 555-1949.
Is that a reference? I'm genuinely not sure if that's a reference or if that's something that Am has put here to try and mess with his mind further. My immediate thought is Leisure Suit Larry, but surely that wouldn't stoop to that level. This game is high art, or something like that. I don't know. Walk to the window. What's out there?
The window's too dirty. Graffiti. A monster is not alone in the world. It has friends. Graffiti. The woman did the deed. It's broken.
The first mirror we're looking at, which we can't see the hole in his heart or the heart that's not beating.
Damn spout's twisted. No water is coming out. Big surprise. Filthy. It's broken. Graffiti. Men are no good.
Truthful in some respect. I'm terrified of what's behind this door. Okay, never mind. Really?
A toilet stall. Am's never given us privacy before. None of this makes sense.
Oh, there's an bad apostrophe in the subtitle there. So what, are you saying this place is basically paradise?
That's Edna's husband, Harry.
Whoa. Just sit there for a moment, Harry. I just need to check
Well,
what's...
Gorrister, you've seen better days. So has the big machine, for that matter.
Okay, the game is clearly taking me on some kind of acid trip. Let's have a chance at the jackal. Because, I mean, given the choice between speaking to humans or speaking to animals, I'd much rather speak to animals.
There's more interesting rubbish to sift through, Gorrister. Does that give you some food for thought?
Just let me look at the trash can, please.
There's more Does...
I mean, my previous statement only really applies when they don't talk back.
You've borne me to the edge of my fragile patience, Gorrister. Back! Back to the fire with you until you fathom my intrigues.
Alright, we can't just walk off into the desert. Alright, Jackal, what have you got to say to me?
What are you?
I'm man's best friend. One of them, at least.
Where do you come from?
Here, there, everywhere.
No. What are you really?
Let me answer with a riddle. Today I saw a Chinaman. Now what do you suppose that means?
Why can't you give me a straight answer?
Like so many others down here, I'm cursed to speak in riddles. We all have our curses to bear. Eh, Gorrister?
Yeah? What's my curse?
After 109 years in the belly of the beast, I'd think you'd have a gut instinct by now.
You're Am, playing with my mind again.
No, but I do have an in with the big machine. He and I are like brothers.
I don't believe that for a second.
Look, I'm getting tired of your smart mouth.
Come, Gorrister. Forgive and forget.
What lies across the mountains? Instant death.
So you must know what lies across the mountains.
Freedom for some. If they're cut out for it. It's a long journey across the desert.
That desert doesn't look any worse than the other hellholes Am's cooked up for us.
Heed my words, Gorrister. You'd never make it alone out there. And don't expect me to be a good doggy and tag along.
You're a jackal, you're not a doggy.
What do you want?
I have a craving A craving for something scrumptious. A human heart, perhaps. Yours.
I am not gonna give you my heart.
No? Too bad. I was going to tell you how to get across the mountains in exchange.
That has so many unpleasant implications, I'm not sure where to actually begin.
Tell me how to get across the mountains.
I'm hungry. Perhaps a taste of your heart will put me in a more cooperative mood.
For now, I have nothing more to say to you.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
But if I talk to you again,
I've got nothing more to say to you. I've got nothing more to say to you. I've got nothing more to say to you.
maybe we have to give him our hearts to progress. I thought I saw something else here. We have desert, we have trash can. I saw it. Where is it?
A shovel.
Be careful where you use that, Gorrister. I like to know where all the bodies are buried.
A shovel.
I wonder if the psych profile is something we're going to see for every character, and if so, if that's like a hint system. Harry. I didn't want to talk to you. I just wanted to look at you for now.
Talk to you later.
No, don't look at the restroom. Look at Harry, please.
Harry looks like he's on another one of his drinking binges. Harry, how did you get here?
You know, it's a big place, the desert. Got lost in it myself.
Harry, how did you get here?
You know, it's a big place.
We can repeat that dialogue, even though nothing changes.
What do you know about the desert?
Looks like there's a thunderstorm on the horizon.
What's this about a thunderstorm?
You know, it's a big place, the desert. Got lost in it myself.
What do you know about the desert?
Looks like there's a
The dialogue is looping.
Whose heart was impaled on the Zeppelin spike?
Looks like there's a thunderstorm on the horizon.
Oh boy.
What's this about a thunderstorm?
You know, it's a big place, the desert. Got lost in it myself.
Harry, how did you get here?
You know, it's a big place, the desert. Got lost in it myself.
Let me pour you a drink. 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 What do you know?
Looks like...
I wonder if this is like a dialogue puzzle where we need to select certain things to break him out of this loop.
Whose heart was impaled on the
Why, yours, of course. How'd you think we got here?
Should I give my heart to the jackal?
You've been through hell and back, son. Is your heart still worth anything to you?
What's this about a thunderstorm?
You know, it's a big place, the desert.
I think I need to wait for him
Let me
to
pour
drink.
you a drink. Let me pour you a drink. Let me pour you a drink.
And then wait for him to actually drink it. Come on.
What do you know about the desert?
Looks like there's a thunderstorm on the horizon.
Harry, how did you get here?
The Zeppelin, Gorrister. We came on the Zeppelin.
What do you know about the Zeppelin?
You'll have to talk to Edna. She knows all about the Zeppelin. That's why we did it, you know.
Holy fuck.
What happened in the dining room?
I shouldn't have let her force me into it. I'm not a murderer.
Who did you kill?
Looks like there's a thunderstorm on the horizon.
How do I break out of this?
Let me pour you a drink. Who did you kill?
Didn't look at the wreckage in the dining room too closely, did you? Or haven't you had to take a leak yet?
Wait, if I go back after I've been to the toilet in the restroom there, will something change?
And just where is my dear mother-in-law?
I don't know. Good God, I can't stand the sight of her anymore. Can you imagine being kept alive for 109 years just to hear her carping?
Yeah, this is clearly in his imagination because there's only 5 humans who've been kept alive for 109 years.
Whose heart was impaled on the Zeppelin spike?
Why, yours, of course. How'd you think we got here?
Let me pour you a drink. What's this about a thunderstorm?
You know, it's a big place, the desert. Got lost in it myself.
Drink
Let
the
me
drink.
pour you a drink. What do you know about the desert?
Looks like there's a...
Should I give my heart to the jackal?
You've been through hell and back, son.
What's this about a thunderstorm?
You know, it's a big place, the desert.
What do you know?
Looks like...
He does not want to talk about the desert or the thunderstorm at all, regardless of how much alcohol I give him.
Talk to you later.
Bathroom humor is a defense mechanism used by many males to cover up their embarrassment over elimination functions. Alright, it's clearly telling me to go into the bathroom.
It's broken. Graffiti.
When we're talking about bathroom humor, I assume it's talking about the graffiti.
Graffiti. Graffiti. Graffiti. A toilet stall. Am's never given us
I believe there's anything useful I can use here. I really want to go back up to the Zeppelin and look at the dining room and see if anything has changed around there.
The window's too dirty.
Because right now, I think that maybe giving my heart to the jackal is an optional choice which may change something. You've given me a lot of, not useful information, but a lot of interesting information. Would you like some whiskey, sir?
I shouldn't give this away without saying anything.
Has anything changed out here? No. Let's go back up to the Zeppelin and see if anything's changed in the dining room.
Someone wiped their bloody hands here. My hands are dry. This junk looks like it was knocked over in the fight. There's blood here. These chairs are...
So what, Edna and Harry
This
or
junk looks
Glennis
like
and
it was
Harry
not-
had a fight?
Blood here.
Or maybe I was involved,
chairs-
but I don't remember it.
This junk. There's blood here. Strange. Looks like a big... The gas is
I think I will temporarily give my heart to the jackal, because I'm at a bit of a loss here on how to proceed. I've got the shovel, but
a shovel.
I don't know what I can do with that just yet.
Tell me how to get across the mountains.
I'm hungry. Perhaps a taste of your heart will put me in a more cooperative mood.
Alright.
I think I'll save this delicacy for later. You want to get across the mountains? Go to the restroom and flush 3 times.
Tell me that riddle for getting across the mountains again.
Go to the restroom and flush 3 times. It doesn't make much sense, but neither does what Am's doing to us. Does it?
I've got nothing more to say to you.
Okay, so my immediate thought is, let's try flushing 3 times without giving him the hearts and see if that triggers. I'm pretty sure I've done this combined total of 3 times already, but I think I might have to do it all in one session, like right now. Try this one more time and then I'll load. No, nothing's changed out
What good
here.
will that do me?
Thing is, giving this thing away, it's got a compass and a wire sticking out of it. There's gotta be more to
I'm not
this.
giving this away. If I'm gonna die, I'm taking everything with me. I'm not giving this away.
Go to the restroom and flush 3.
I've got nothing more to say to you. A meat locker? How'd I get bodies on meat hooks? Am, you bastard! What have you done?
We've crossed the desert is what we've done, and yeah, we clearly had to give away our hearts to actually get into this room. But whether this is the correct way to progress or not, whether this leads to a good ending, bad ending, God knows what, I have no idea. Yeah, look at those shadows there. Oof.
Beef. Grade A quality, too. Am's never given us something this good to eat before. Something's wrong here.
It's right next to the frigging bodies. Do you not see what it's trying to say?
No use. The rest of this carcass is frozen solid. Beef. Am. Something.
Right, so we have the wife and the mother-in-law here.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
We can talk to them.
That's Edna, my mother-in-law. No, this is too good to be true.
Wait, you're happy to see her?
Glynis, what has Am done to you, honey?
This is all in your mind, dude.
She can't talk. All she can do is drool out of the side of her mouth. My God, what have I done?
When you hit her, did you hit her in the mouth?
Edna, how did you get up there?
The Chinaman hung me here, Gorrister. Take me down!
Chinaman? What Chinaman?
He's one of the other two. Am's not as omnipotent as he would have us believe.
Why should I help you?
I have to complete the contract and get the Zeppelin to the mountains, or the big machine will kill me.
This is a pretty interesting fantasy that you've got going on, Gorrister.
You know how to fly the Zeppelin out of here?
You were once an electrician. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure it out.
That's not how any of this works.
Tell me how to fly the Zeppelin first, and then I'll help you.
No. Take me down, and then I'll tell you.
It looks like I can't escape you, Edna. Even in the belly of Am.
Why would you want to escape from me, Gorrister? We're family, after all.
She was very, very upset with you earlier. We heard the recording on the jukebox.
You were always telling Glynis how much you hated me.
Now, Gorrister, I was just concerned about my baby. Glynis was so lonely with you always being out on the road. I know you were doing the best you could.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
Just want to go out. Oh, okay. We only have to flush it once now. So it's across the mountains, according to the Jackal. We need to flush 3 times, but that leads us to a Zeppelin pilot.
Okay, Edna. I'll take you down.
It's good to see you're finally making amends for what you did to Glynis.
Wait. You're right about Glynis. I deserve to die here.
Gorrister! You stupid truck driver! You can't leave me here!
That was a very, very quick change of tone right there.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
Is that happening because we've given away our heart?
I've got nothing more to say to you. I just dull my knife.
That's kind of dark.
I just...
Did you Who among you?
Where is my last save? Holy crap. It's all the way back here. Spoken to
Talk to you later.
Yeah, this was before I gave the heart away. So we can give the heart away. And that's going to get us to Edna. But then I don't see a way through the conversation. And I don't immediately see how to get her down off the hook either. Alright, let's give the heart away. I can't help but feel this is a very bad decision.
I've got nothing more. Me? Body. Damn, you... Edna. China.
He's...
Why should I?
I have...
You know how to
You...
tell me.
No.
Okay, Edna.
It's good to see you're finally making amends for what you did to Glynis.
And he doesn't, I'll guess, support that statement. He immediately refutes it and says, no, you're right. I deserve to die here. And that means that he can't take her down.
It looks...
Why?
You were...
Now, Glynis,
I've got nothing more to say to you. She can't talk. My God, what have I done?
If I use this,
Bitter stuff.
doesn't change anything
Wait.
about my psychological profile.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
I can only use it with the
I
bodies
just
here.
don't...
I can't actually use it with the hooks. Um,
I'm not giving this away. I'm not giving... I don't know what to do with these.
what on earth do I do with the shovel?
I'm not giving... I don't...
I mean, I can use a gun, but that's going to end very poorly. What about the jackal? Does the jackal have anything to say, or is the jackal gone?
I found Edna and Glynis. How does that help me escape from here?
Such information comes at a price. But I can see that you're in no bargaining position. I'll offer you a trade. Your heart for Edna's.
What? Are you telling me that I can find a way into the meat locker without giving my heart to you? I mean, I don't have my heart, so unless I can, you know, rip you open and
I've got nothing more to say to you.
maybe I can steal the heart off it back somehow? I don't know.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
Your heart for... oh, you want me to get... okay, you want me to get Edna's heart. Oof, okay. This is a bad jackal. Edna, do you mind if you, give me your heart, please?
I've got nothing more to say to you. I just dull my knife.
Well, how else am I supposed to get your heart?
I just... She can't talk. My God, what have I done?
Jackal didn't tell me anything useful other than I wasn't in a good bargaining position. Your heart's for Edna's. So if I can get Edna's heart and give it to the Jackal, presumably that'll give me my heart back. But at the moment,
I've got nothing more to say to you.
I don't believe I can interact with these two in any useful way. Harry, do you have anything to say to me?
There's something shiny inside the urinal.
That wasn't there before, was it?
I can't take a magnifying glass, like the ones they use in detective stories.
I need to check. I apologize. I need to check. No, it is there. Okay.
I wouldn't know what to... A magnifying glass. A magnifying... There's nothing special.
I've got to be able to do something with this.
There's nothing... There's nothing... I don't know what to do with these.
Have I seen anything that's too small? Too small to make out?
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to... I don't know what...
What would I be able to do with the magnifying glass?
I don't know what to do.
Maybe on the book back in the Zeppelin? This is a long shot. No, it wasn't in this room. Which room was the book in? This one, perhaps?
I don't know what to do with these.
Oh, come on, dude. The book's got your name on it.
My name's printed on the front of this book.
I tried taking it,
Why, this book is little more than a pile of dust.
but you're telling me I can't use a magnifying glass
I
on
don't
it.
know what to do with these.
Oh boy. Alright, so I've got a magnifying glass. What can I do with it? Nothing in there, nothing in there. Can't use it with the harness. Maybe I can use it to inspect the dining room?
There's nothing special to see here. Here's some hair that was pulled out during the fight. It's the same color as mine. And here's some that matches Harry's. Now I understand what happened here.
You understand what happened here, but how does that help?
Here's some hair that was pulled out during the fight. It's the same color as mine. And here's some that matches Harry's. Now I understand what happened here.
You were fighting over the same woman?
I don't know what to do with these.
Alright. Let's go have a quick chat to
This
Harry
must be the
again.
way-
I was the one you killed, wasn't I, you
Talk to
bastard?
you later.
He killed... Okay. We haven't given the cars away, so let's just have a chat to him. Give him a drink.
Let me pour you a drink.
This line of conversation could go very, very badly.
I was the one you killed, wasn't I, you bastard?
I'm sorry, Gorrister. Edna poisoned the punch, and after you drank it, I wrestled you to the ground. When the poison took effect, I cut you open.
You cut me open, so what? You removed my heart and placed it at the end of the Zeppelin on a spike?
Why did you kill me?
It's too complicated for me to explain. You'll have to ask Edna.
But can you tell me? Yes, where is Edna?
Are you sure you can't tell me where Edna is?
Have you spoken to the Jackal yet? He seems to have all the inside dope.
He does, but he wants my heart.
Let me pour you a drink. What's this about?
You know,
Talk to you later. Tell me how to get across the mountain.
I'm hungry. Perhaps a taste of your heart will put me in a more cooperative mood.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
I mean, the fact that we've spoken about our death now leads me towards thinking, okay, we can now progress if we give him the heart. But this seems like a terrible idea. It really does.
Go to the...
I've got nothing more to say.
But from what I can tell, at least, we cannot speak to Edna or Glennis without giving the hearts of Jackal. Yeah, I completely missed the magnifying glass in the urinal earlier.
A meat? Body. Damn.
Alright, anything new here?
It looks like I can't escape you, Edna. Even in the belly of Am.
Why would you want to escape from me, Gorrister? We're family after all.
You were always telling Glennis how much you hated me.
Now, Gorrister, I was just concerned about my baby. Glennis was so lonely with you always being out on the road. I know you were doing the best you could.
So we were in the Zeppelin. Edna tried to kill us with a punch, and when we were poisoned and started going down to the ground, Harry finished the job.
Edna, you bitch. I know all about your plot to murder me.
I had to make a deal with Am. I had to. I've always been harsh on you, I admit. But we're the last people on Earth. Let's help each other now.
Why should I trust my own murderer?
Alliances change, Gorrister. Something's gone wrong. Am's two Conrads don't listen to me anymore. I need you. And you need me. It's that simple.
We were Am's two comrades.
I ought to kill you right now, you bitch.
Don't be a fool, Gorrister! You need me alive if you want to make it out of here!
Oh, look at these options. We can take her down. We can cut out her heart, which Jackal wants, or we can shoot her.
I've got nothing more to say to you. I've got nothing more to say to you.
We have a choice to make. I mean, I think we owe it to ourselves to immediately shoot her, so let's try that. There you go.
Who among...
I was expecting that. Can I take you down?
You truck-driving son of a bitch! This is for me and my baby!
Let me go.
I've got you now, Gorrister. And if you think you'll ever escape me, you've got some new thinking to do.
Please, I'll do anything you ask.
I don't know what's come over me, Gorrister. Can you ever forgive me? I've been hanging here for so long, I'm not thinking straight. A sip of that milk will clear my head.
Oh,
No, I don't trust you.
Gorrister, let me down or I'll scratch your eyes out, you worthless excuse for a man!
oh shit.
Edna, you dropped a key.
Hand me back that key and let me down! I'm your only hope of getting out of here!
Sorry, Edna. I don't trust you as far as I can spit.
Let me prove my good intentions. I'll let you go. Now give me the key.
Not a chance. We can. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of other options now. We can tie, give her the milk. We can tie her up with the rope, and we've got the other two here.
I've got nothing more to say to you. A key.
I have to take that and immediately try that in the Zeppelin.
A key.
Edna, just hang out here for a bit longer, please. I need to check out the Zeppelin. I've been waiting almost the entire game for this.
So many
Yes.
dials and controls.
Oh, so this is the bridge. This is the bridge, and the engine is the, I'll call it the tail end. Stern? I don't know what the word is. What have we got? We have an altimeter. Logbook. Switch. Power lights. The altimeter and the power lights were showing up upstairs near the gas bags.
The ignition switch. Edna wrote this logbook.
We have to read that clearly.
When Am took us down here before the war, I didn't know anyone could hate Gorrister more than me. But Am did. He hated all of us.
I'm having some second thoughts here. The story of this game is that there are only 5 humans alive, and they've been tortured for the last 109 years. Did Am bring down some more, or is this literally all in Gorrister's head?
When Am took us down here before the war, I didn't know anyone could hate Gorrister more than me. But Am did. He hated all of us.
It's talking about before the war, so I'm genuinely starting to have second thoughts now.
If I can just deliver Gorrister's soul on a platter, I can make amends for every minute of Glynis's life I took from her. I never meant to drive her crazy.
I'll be damned. Edna's claimed responsibility for Glynis. Maybe it wasn't my fault after all.
Keyword, maybe.
I thought I could do what Am wants, but he's too precise. I poisoned the punch, but I couldn't bring myself to cut out Gorrister's heart.
No, that was Harry's job.
Maybe I can have my husband do it. Then this Zeppelin can clear the mountains. But if we don't finish the job, Am will feed me alive to the machine just like an animal.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that this is actually any form of reality. Like, I think what's happening is Gorrister is just thinking about this scenario. Am's goal clearly is to get Gorrister's soul. And if he's hallucinating the whole thing, but it ends up in him giving his soul to Am, then it's the same
The
outcome.
light's dimmed. We must be out of power. Edna wrote So how do I get out of here? So how do I get out? No, I can't bring myself to leave Glynis again.
She's not alive, dude. Also, by the sounds of everything that's happened, you punched her in the face and she hasn't been the same person since. Alright, so we got nothing out of that room but a lot of useful context, and I wonder if speaking to Edna again is going to result in any new dialogue.
Talk to you later.
He has nothing to say. Although romantic literature portrays the heart as the seat of an individual's soul or personality, it is simply a muscular organ that is essentially the same in each individual. Again, this game's a little bit too real for my liking. Alright, Edna. We need to talk some more. No, we can't tell her about her plan to take my soul and deliver it to Am.
Gorrister, you idiot! That fluid is what has kept us alive for all these 109 years. If it can do that, it can give me the strength to escape from this meat hook.
A key.
Did I just load instead of... I just loaded this... Oh boy. Now look at this, I've got the option to...
I've got nothing more to say to you.
Huh. I think that might be a bug. I've got Edna's key. I'm going to feed her the milk.
Gorrister!
She drops the key, and the key is not in my inventory. So that's clearly some kind of bad outcome, perhaps. Let me just have a look at the jackal. Maybe I can look out here. Is she in the Zeppelin now? I say that thinking she'll be in the pilot's room, but I need to pick up the key to grab that, so let me just load. Talk to her. We'll give her the milk. Take the key, even though we already had it. That seems like a bug. We'll just quickly head back into the Zeppelin. Have a look at the control room. Is she in here?
It's locked.
Did she somehow wall hack through the locked door?
So this is where the bitch ran off to. How did you escape from the meat hook?
Gorrister, you idiot truck driver! That milk you fed me renewed my strength!
What are you doing, Edna?
Don't bother me now, Gorrister! I've got to get this thing over the mountains!
Get away from those controls, you bitch.
If we don't get out of here, the big machine will kill both of us!
So why aren't we taking off?
Because we don't have any power, you fool!
Why aren't we getting any power?
You were once an electrician. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure it out.
Does it have something to do with me killing the engines with a fork?
I ought to kill you right now, you bitch.
That's right, Gorrister. Hurt me just like you hurt my baby.
I never meant to hurt Glynis. I just got pissed off that one night.
And knocked her right into a mental institution.
I'm leaving now, Edna.
Do something useful for once, Gorrister. Get the power back on. When Am took us down, if I can just...
I'll be damned. Maybe it wasn't
I thought I could... Maybe I can have...
Edna does not comment, even though we're reading her private journal in front of her. This is interesting. I assume that somehow getting the power back on right now would be the path of forgiveness. Because she has tried to kill us. I assume that if we continue on from there, that's going to lead to a certain outcome. Whereas if I choose to... What if I tie her up with a rope?
Untie me, you son of a bitch! I'll rip your spleen out!
I'm taking you with me, Edna. She can't talk. My God.
Can I take you at least?
Untie me, you...
Alright, I haven't cut out her heart, but you know what?
I read Edna's logbook, and everything's much clearer. Now what?
You must make amends and bury the past, Gorrister.
I found Edna and Glynis. How does that help me escape from here?
Such information comes at a price. But I can see that you're in no bargaining position. I'll offer you a trade. Your heart for Edna's.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
We gave away our heart, and that's a terrible thing to do. But taking someone else's heart to get our heart back might be worse.
I just don't...
I mean, the option I've got at the moment, I can't...
I don't know what to...
I don't see how I can cut her heart out from here.
Untie me, you son of a bitch! I'll rip your spleen out!
Let's do it.
One heart looks like another. Edna, now you really are heartless. Edna...
And that appears to have quote-unquote killed her.
Edna's heart looks no different from any other heart.
How do you know what other hearts look like, buddy?
I read...
You must make amends and bury the past, Gorrister.
Must make amends. Who do I make my amends to? Just Glynis?
I found Edna.
Such information. Your heart. Ah, this is Edna's heart. A bitter organ, but worth its weight in gold to me. I give you your heart back.
So how do I get out of here?
A heart brought you here, but it will take another organ to get you out. If you can harness its power.
I don't understand your riddle about another organ.
Ah, but Edna does. And all the other animals like her.
Yeah, but you know what? I just quote-unquote killed Edna, and Gorrister realizes he's done something pretty bad, I think.
I read Edna's log.
You must make amends.
I've got nothing more to say. There's a compass and wires attached to this heart.
Okay, so it still seems to be the same heart.
There's nothing...
It hasn't been damaged by the looks of it.
Talk to you later. Edna, now you really are heartless.
Can I do this?
I'm not giving this away.
Definitely not. Can I give my heart to Glennis?
I'm not giving this away. She can't talk. My God. Edna?
So many thoughts going through my head right now. If I give her the milk, she runs into the Zeppelin. If I tie her up, I get her as an inventory object. Either way, I'm going to get her key, which will give me access to the room.
Gorrister, you idiot! If it can do that...
Yeah, I don't think killing her is the way to go. I really don't. But then, how do I get my heart back? Do I really need my heart back?
I just dull my knife.
What are you thinking, Gorrister? You can't tumble out of this place.
Walk to the
Isn't
grave?
it a bit premature to be digging your own grave, Gorrister? Isn't it a bit premature?
I've got nothing more to say to you.
What the fuck? Can I put Edna in the grave? Can I bury her alive?
Untie me!
I'm taking you with me, Edna.
Surely not.
Don't do it, Gorrister. That's much too kind a fate for Edna.
Then what's the point of digging a grave here? Unless I need to bury something which is symbolic of myself, like my heart, for example.
This whiskey tastes good. Am would never let us have this. Bitter. I don't know what to. I don't know.
Don't do it, Gorrister. That's much too kind a fate for Edna. Such your... You must...
I've got nothing more to say to you.
I mean, I've got Edna's body, but
Untie me, you son of a bitch! I'll rip your spleen out!
I can't interact with it or use it with
I
a
don't know
knife
what
to get her heart at this point. I wonder if I can put her in the harness. Hello.
I'll be damned. The engine's starting up again. Edna, it's good to finally see you doing something useful with those negative currents running through your brain.
Why did we need to stop the engine to begin with? Was that to land the Zeppelin?
I just...
Okay, so the engine started up, but we are still on the ground.
I read Edna's logbook.
You must make amends and bury the past, Gorrister.
Bury the past.
I've got nothing. I don't know what to do.
My only immediate thought is,
Isn't it a bit premature to be...
yeah, this is kind of buggy. The grave is here, but it's
Isn't it a bit
loaded the wrong, it's loaded the wrong JPEG, or whatever you want to call it. Look at the grave. The grave is definitely here.
Isn't it a bit
I don't know what...
I mean, me thinking about bury the past, it immediately makes me think, let's bury Glennis. But we can't pick her up.
She can't talk. All she can do is drool. My God.
Can we give her the milky fluid?
This fluid should revive you, honey. Glennis, all these years and I thought I was the one who was responsible for your suffering. Let me help you now. She's gone. At least I finally made amends with her. I'm taking her body out of this freezer.
That was very abrupt. Revive for half a second, apologise. Now we need to put her to rest, clearly.
Isn't it a bit
I've got nothing.
Is there anything I can perhaps do to the grave? Yeah, that graphic unfortunately did not work at all.
You can't take your garbage with you this time, Gorrister. You can't take...
So... is there a way we can get our heart back?
The airbags are inflating. So how do I get out of here? Some kind of warning light.
Okay, so we're still on the ground. The airbags are inflated. We don't have the knowledge, perhaps, to get over the mountains.
Edna, it's good to finally see you doing something useful with those negative currents running through your brain.
The node. But nothing useful that I can use with the node.
It's locked.
Not anymore, it's not. Yeah, I don't think I've done everything that I have to do. I don't think I've forgiven myself,
light
if
is
that makes
lit.
any sense. Thunderstorm. Is that going to bring the Zeppelin down?
We're taking off. We're taking off. Nothing's happening. The ignition switch.
We've taken off, but we left our heart behind.
Edna. Here's a recipe for the milk of human kindness. Take the willingness to forgive and the will to be forceful. Mix the blood of innocence and the anger of the wronged.
So the milk of human kindness clearly has nothing to do with this milky fluid. Yeah, there's got to be so much that I've missed here.
Do it, Gorrister. Blow the place apart. You may never have a chance to do it again.
I want my heart back, dude.
Do it, Gorrister.
Yeah, you're made of sterner stuff than I calculated, Gorrister. Interesting. Here's a new burden for you while I attempt to resolve this miscalculation. Who among you shall go next?
That, I assume, is an end to the Gorrister scenario. Is it the correct ending, though?